Is it going? I think it's going, right?
Yeah, it's going.
All right. Yo!
Hello. More Writers Vlog from us.
We're continuing the long, for those of you just tuning in.
First, the date is This date is December 26th, and we're going to recap some of our old writing. And
Merry post-Christmas.
Yes, Merry post-Christmas. And for those of you just tuning in, we're going to be
continuing talking about us writing the segments to that massive portion of this episode that's full of like a ton of segments. It's got like 70 plus to like 90 segments in this one thing alone, and it's about 50 minutes long.
Yep.
So, okay, so let's start with the first one. We are going to be recounting right now, October the 24th. Wow, we did a lot. Okay, this day we wrote 5 segments. On October the 24th, 5 segments.
I thought it says wrote 3 segments.
No, it says 3, then 1, and then this one, and then that one.
Well, no, the start. We just did the start of that. We didn't do that one all. See?
Oh, I finished with this. Oh, okay. We didn't write the scene. You're right.
No, this is the scene.
So this is 4 then. 4 segments. So we wrote 4 segments on October the 24th. My recollection of these, it was an easy day. I think it was just easy.
Yeah, actually, I'll be quite honest. You know, this one had a visual part, and even though it had a lot of scene changes, I'm going to just say right there, I'm agreeing with Garrett, it was easy.
Yeah, not difficult at all.
I mean, we saw it was a 2.5-hour workday. We usually work, as you may have known, 3.5-hour work days
on average.
On average, this one was 2.5 hours. We set a clock out.
I can't say on average. I just mean that's the max we like to work per session.
Yes.
3.5 hours. We've been saying a lot of videos, but we don't know this is your first video. So
yeah. It was easy.
It was really just about
very
plot oriented,
very visual and plot oriented, situation based.
Yeah,
go
on.
No, and let's just want to drop the example. I'm fine.
Yeah, I wanted to drop an example. So you watch movies and they're like, let's say it's a scene where you want to develop how a factory works. Right? So you're going to see it from several characters' perspectives.
Yes.
You're going to have one character being the janitor, and so you see how the place is cleaned up. And then another character, you'll see how this factory that, let's say, makes soda bottles. Then you see how the bottles are filled with the soda. So you go through another character's perspective at seeing how that happens. And it's all factors into the idea that the plot of this storyline is to figure out if the factory is corrupt or not. So they're going to try to see the inner workings of it. And so you're just showing 3 really short segments of different points of view of how the factory goes through its soda production system. And so that's really all it was. It wasn't really big on character. Granted, Brando
the reason why it wasn't that big on character because
it's just about the plot.
Well, no, because also, not just that. It was not they were like throwaway characters. We love our characters. The characters we're showing in these scenes were already well established characters, most of them. So there was so it didn't call to develop them. Like really focus on character here. It focused way more. This part is more important for the story.
Yeah.
So that's why
So
that's why we did this one, and it was very easy.
Yeah, that's my memory of it. It was smooth sailing. Like Bro said, we had an hour left of the workday, and we decided to call it.
Yeah.
So and the one that came after that was a little bit more detailed into the soda making factory. I think there were some mild changes made, but not a lot.
No, I think the only changes was that Garrett moved some dialogue, but everything kind of remained the same. It was really smooth. Absolutely, Garrett's right.
So the 24th, very smooth workday and very plot oriented.
Yes.
Yeah, because the characters had been developed as Bro had said.
Yep.
All right, let's go on to the next day.
Let us go to recapping October
25th.
Wow, really? Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Whoa,
really?
Holy
Oh, we were determined. Okay, yeah, I remember that. Okay, I'm having the man. Okay.
Well, look at that.
Okay, so this day was 15 minutes shy of a full work day. So we worked for 3 hours and 15 minutes. And I know why we pushed our... Okay.
We did push ourselves this day. I do remember that.
All right, the first segment, relatively easy, very nice characters, very fun characters. We haven't written them in a little while, so it was a treat. It was a treat coming back to these characters. And very sweet characters.
And we added something really funny, and it just
came to us from the writing process.
Yeah, literally just popped in our heads, and it was like, wow, that worked out really great, and it was hilarious. It was great.
Yeah.
So we developed the characters, also developed the story more so as well, and showing how these characters are going to play their part in this current storyline.
Yeah.
And that was that one. Very straightforward.
2 particular characters. 2 very sweet, very fun characters.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Then what was after that?
Oh yeah, next segment was
that one. Okay, that one was really easy. It's another plot segment.
Yes,
where we just had a bunch of text covering a situation. Now, when Brand and I use text to describe in a story,
we use it very
we
well.
use it tastefully. We use it tastefully, and it's placed to have more emotional impact than it is to serve
usually what people do, which is
describing to the audience what's happening.
Yeah, there's the fun version, Star Wars, just kind of sets the
scroll. That's really cool.
Yeah, sets the situation. And another phenomenal version done was Unforgiven. But you see, again, is to set the situation. It's exactly what Garrett said, how we used our text.
Yeah, our text is not to set the tone. Not in this one.
Not with this part. Not with
this part. When we use the text, it's like it's for more of an emotional impact. Let's say you're going. I can describe the scene. Actually, it's a dramatic scene, and what a character is going through. We don't necessarily want to show through visuals; it would take too much time, and then it's just too artsy fartsy.
Yes,
and we don't want the character to talk about what the character's going through, or hear a narration in the character's head.
Didn't feel right for this scene.
Didn't feel correct, and it just does feel kind of cheap. So sometimes when it's just quiet and the character's not feeling great, it has an impact to then read what the character's going through. Not any dramatic music. You're just reading text on the side. And it has a kind of a quiet, almost like kind of serious, kind of like somber effect.
Yes.
When you're reading text and you can see the character is distraught. And then it explains the situation of what the character went through. Not cheaply explaining away the character's feelings, but since the character doesn't want to talk, I want the audience to know what the character's feeling rather than doing the thing of like, oh, look how little they explain so I can interpret it in my own head kind of crap. Fuck that. No.
The characters go through something definitively, and it is not up for the audience to make up whatever the hell they want to.
No.
So that's why we did it for this scene like that. It felt right, and it was good.
So that was that one.
That
one was easy.
That was easy.
The next one was a massive 7-page segment. Or it might have been 9 pages.
Well, 7 to 9. It was. Ooh, wow!
And we were looking forward to this one.
Yeah, this one, and we saw on our notes. What was very impressive about this segment is that it said we kept everything almost to verbatim. This one we just had in our head. We've said it in other videos, but I'll say it again. This one. This is one of those, and I do mean the word rare. This is one of those rare segments where when you think about it, and then you write it in the script, it's just like, wow, there's like nothing to change.
Yeah.
You don't have to change the beats. You don't have to change the flow of the dialogue or the beats or the flow of the emotion. It just was like flawless.
It just worked. And this was a meeting of 3 characters.
Yes, and characters and a really cool combo of characters.
Yeah, real cool combo. Like a real cool nasty character combo with some really kind of adorable characters, actually, you could say. So
it was.
And so Garrett and Brandon, you did that. And then that, and then you wrote this. I'm talking to future Garrett and Brandon who watched this video, what you wrote. So, Brandon, I can remember what we wrote. So we can remember. I'm talking like I said, there's another Garrett and Brandon.
Well, there are other Garrett and Brands, but there are Garrett Brands watching this video. So, no, this scene, this segment, wow. It's hard because what made this segment harder, from what I remember, was not just how long it was, but also because it followed already 2 segments. So we were getting tired by this time. Those 2 segments were easy, but they weren't easy.
Writing is never easy.
Yeah. So this one, this was really cool. This was a very cool mixture of mostly plot and unique interactions and lore. A whole bunch of stuff you kind of meshed in this one.
But I'd say it was mostly character.
Absolutely.
It was more about character development than it was about the lore.
Yeah.
Or story or plot.
But all those bits were in there. But this one, Garrett's absolutely a character. And to say it again, this one was easy in the sense that it was to verbatim,
but it was chunky.
But because it was chunky, it was hard, and it followed 2 other segments, made it harder. I do remember getting pretty tired after this.
I remember, but we were determined because because we had one more segment after this one, which would be kind of a break until we then. There's a massive amount of segments after that are pretty much all plot related.
Yes,
but it's also combo with feeling. But I'll get to that later.
Yeah, that's for another day.
So when we accomplished this. So we did accomplish that long segment, right? We were tired then. We were pretty white by then, but we felt really good. And we said, okay, this next one before the break. Not a break. This next one before we go into the massive craziness.
This massive crazy part.
Yeah, this one before the craziness happens. This one, if we have the strength to write this, we'll feel very accomplished.
Yes.
So we went for it. It's easy, actually, but when it's the fourth segment of a day...
After a really long one...
It doesn't matter how short it is, and this thing was less than a page.
Yes.
You still just want to pass out. But we did it. We wrote this last bit.
We did it.
Right? And it was almost like... It's almost... This last one was a very emotional one.
Very quick, very emotional, and really
very emotional,
very powerful.
Very emotional, family-based one. Like, literally, there's a family in this one, and that's why I was emotional. Them meeting face-to-face and stuff like that after a long time.
Yep.
Kind of situation like that. So, and that doesn't give away a lot, because that's, like, in all the movies.
It doesn't give up anything to our plot or character, nothing.
No. So with that, we did it with 15 minutes to spare. And then we were ready to go for the next part. Because we had already discussed beforehand what would be happening after this segment, this last one of the day. I think this is the 25th, right?
Is this?
Yeah, this is the 25th.
Yeah, the 25th. Yeah, it's the 25th.
Because on the 26th was going to go crazy. The 26th was, we had to be ready for that day. So we had to make sure also, I think when we had the talk, we wanted to make sure that when we had written this segment, that we weren't going to be drained to do what was coming up the next day. Yeah, I think we checked in with each other.
Oh, no, we did, because...
I recall that.
Oh, yeah, definitely, because I'm going to say, again, as we all say this stuff, we really had to balance our energy and our strength really well, because if you work a shitload on one day, that you could be dangerously close to burning out where you can't work the next day or maybe even the day after that. So that's definitely what we checked on ourselves, and what really gave us that extra boost was that bit of determination, because Garrett and I knew exactly what was coming up after the segment with the family. We knew what a big deal it was, and we knew that if we mustered our strength without killing ourselves, that this would be a great accomplishment, and it would have benefited us to on the day we worked, and then the next day after that, and
we accomplished it.
We did.
So we were happy. We're ready to go, and now let's wrap up the video with October the 26th.
All right, what did we do on the 20th? God, wait. Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
So we finished that workday with 50 minutes to spare. Now, let's tell you what's happening
here. Now, we're going to tell you why this was really crazy. We're not, without spoiling too much, Gary, you can explain why this was kind of crazy.
Okay. So we were breaking this up into two parts. So remember we told you in the beginning of this video and some of the previous videos that there are a whole bunch of segments covering a vast whole idea.
Yeah, very connected idea.
Very connected storyline. And it's about 50 to 60 minutes, we anticipate. Well, this is the last chunk. And part of those like 70 to 90 segments, however many segments I said are in this one, 57 of them are back to back to back to back. They're tiny segments.
Tiny.
But there's 57 of them. Remember, Brandon, I said, we are precise on our writing. You know how people do montages and they send out a second unit crew to like film shots of the streets and whatnot, and then they clump it together and then take what they like? That's how film making works sometimes when you have montage sequences, right? You don't have your primary crew to go out there and get the shots. You send like a second unit crew, a backup crew, you could say, to go during the off hours of the day while the main crew is, filming the main scenes, and they pick up a bunch of shots. Locals walking around, dining. There's establishing shots of like New York City. You see the sewer grates with the steam coming out. You see someone at a hot dog vendor going right by. You see people honking down the streets, cursing in traffic. Those sequences of scenes are filmed by typically a second unit crew, camera crew, and then in post-production, the editing team puts it together with choosing the best scenes that they want. Yeah. Well, Brandon and I, we know every single shot that we want, so we don't leave it up to a second unit crew to get us a bunch of ideas that we can put together and bring to life the city or whatnot. Brandon and I have written 57 of those cuts in the segments, and we've made them each an individual segment, a tiny one, but clear.
Yeah.
And we want, because we know what we want, and we know the sequence, and we know how it has to be just right. So... we decided to break into 2 days, October the 26th and October the 27th. 27 we'll cover in the next video. October the 26th, we are going to write down the screenplay 29 of the 57 segments, and then 28 the next day.
That was the plan, and we wrote down those 29.
Oh, I was tired by segment 15.
So that tells you what we went through. And
we had 50 minutes still to spare. So Brand and I kicked ass. But we knew we had to finish. It was a grind that day.
It was a grind.
It was crazy. It was a grind. You're jumping from scene to scene. There's also scene changes in these 57 segments. It's not like It's not like you're all staying in one house. One segment is the brother in his bedroom sleeping, and another segment is the sister in the kitchen making a sandwich. You can just say the same house. No, you're in the kitchen. You're outside. You're on the road. You're in the desert. You're in the sky.
You're in a different kitchen.
You're underwater. This is what I'm saying. These 57 segments are all over the place.
And also, one of the hardest parts about it is that unlike, say, you could just have someone sleeping in the bed or someone just sitting on a chair reading a book. Sometimes the scene had a little bit of dialogue, literally a pinch of dialogue, or sometimes it called for more of an emotional expression we had to put in the character. So that added more work on top of that.
And I think this first round of segments did have kind of the army talk.
No, I thought so.
Part.
No, I thought
so. And that segment was 3 pages on its own.
So that's the thing here. It wasn't just silent. It wasn't just the establishing shots as Garrett described. It's
still encompassing the idea of character development, plot development, simultaneously across a bunch of fucking scenes.
And also just it adds to the whole of what Garrett and I want to accomplish with this insane amount of cuts we did, scene changes, character changes, and man, oh man, I wrote this shit like a month ago, 2 months ago, right, Garrett?
Well, it's October the 26th. Yeah, it's 2 months ago. It's 26th of
December. Yeah, I wrote that shit 2 months ago, and rereading it, Garrett expressing it, I can still feel the phantom pains. I can. Oh my gosh, I remember that was one of the days where Garrett, of course, checked up on me because he wanted to make sure I was up for it. Because Garrett can always push him. As you know, Garrett, he generally likes to push himself for work, not to the detriment of his own health, but Garrett kind of likes that grind feel. I don't like it as much. In fact, sometimes I downright hate it. But this is a situation where I had to pull out the grind power in me because it's one of those grind powers that is beneficial if I did it now, and then it will then ripple to it would be better for me and Garrett later. So it was rough as fuck, but we did it. It was very rewarding, fucking tiring,
and thankfully, though, I think having 50 minutes left in the day helped add to our recovery to be able to go into the next day.
It did. It absolutely did. Garrett and I, we were on a tear.
Yeah.
And we did it.
So that was the 26th of October, and this is going to move into the next one.
Yep.
And then on the 27th, that'll conclude the massive storyline, the 50 to 60 pages, the 50 to 60 minutes, and the many, many segments. Tomorrow, the 27th, we concluded it, and then we go into the even bigger part next. All right, but that's in the next video. That's it for this one. Thank you, folks. We'll see you next week.
Next video.
Next video.